Today I'm going to show you how to do column reinforcing and foundation reinforcing, and also I'm going to show you a bar bending schedule of how it is populated. So let's get straight into it. So firstly I'm going to start on the foundation. I'm going to click on it, go to the rebar tab, just say okay. Then it's going to load my shape codes, and I'm going to use shape code 38. It's a South African standard. So here at the partition, you can name this. We can call it 500 by 500 millimeter column with 1.5 by 1.5 by 450 millimeter base. I'm going to show you why we give it a partition name. So the partition name is basically related to your bar bending schedule name. So then here I'm going to choose, let's use Y16s. And we go to top here, say maximum spacing, we want it spaced at 200. So now if I hover here, you can see it doesn't want to select anything. So you have to go to far face and then parallel to cover. Then you'll see it pops up like this. Now we can press space to rotate between the orientation of this bar. So the way it's orientated now is that the legs of this shape code 38 is pointing upwards. If I click space twice, it's pointing downwards. So just gonna keep it upwards for now. We will click so it snaps, so you can see there it snaps. Then we can do the opposite side and just say perpendicular to cover. Then we also just press space and you can see that it's indicated upwards. So now that we've done that, we can just go and check in our section. There you can see your reinforcing has been done in your section as well, the bottom reinforcing. So now what we can do is, if it's the same reinforcing size, we can just maybe mirror that. So let's go to the view here. We click on both of them with holding in control. Then we just say for mirror. Apologies, this is only when you have an access already. We don't have an access to mirror around. We will go to DM, draw axis, mirror. So then it snaps to this midpoint and we just mirror it. So you can see that that has been mirrored. So let's go to the 3D and check how this reinforcing looks like. Just put it on wireframe and we just go and find this specific reinforcing. And there you have your cage, which is quite neatly set up. And then if we go back to the foundation, now we want to do the column. So let's click on the column. We say rebar again. We first want to do the stirrup. So this is a shape code 60, South African standard. There it is there. Then we want to use maybe an say an R10 for this instance. Now we want to say, okay, but we want to do it by 2 points and a maximum spacing of 200. That is fine. Let's say near face and then parallel to work plane. And you'll see it snaps to the column's cover edges. So there you go. Now we have that. Let's just go into the section to see how it's portrayed. It is going straight through. So that's okay for now. We will fine tune it as we go. Now that we've done the stirrup, we can do the column vertical rebar. So we're going to say rebar again, choose the shape code. We want shape code 41, Y20s. Must be far face, perpendicular to cover, and then we're going to use maximum 3. I'm just going to let it snap to this corner. Before we do anything else, we just want to go and see how this bar indicated. That's not how we want it. So what we want to do here is that height there is 3450 and the slab depth is 255. Okay, So we want to step it just before the slab. So you're going to use 3450 minus 255 minus 250. It's 3145. So we click there, we put 3145. It's going to snap to the bottom. It's okay. We're just going to move it up then. MV for move. Just moving it up to there. And now we want to bring this down to something like this, so that this bar can step like that. Okay. Then let's maybe just say edit constraints. I want this top here to be 800 millimeters high for your splice length for your next bar. So there we have that. For this exercise, we're just going to ignore the beam. I will in a later exercise show you how to handle the beam rebar. So then what we then do is, the easiest is to mirror this. We press MM for mirror. Then we literally mirror this bar to the other side. Go back to the column layout. So now we just want to adjust this so it sits within the strap. Move that with 10 mils. Bring it down, maybe like that. And like this. Then we can maybe just delete this again and just mirror that again. Like that. So it looks identical. So back to the section, still the same with the step. Now we also want bars in the middle. So how I would do this, I'll just copy this over, move it to there, click on it. Then we're going to say, okay, we only want a single bar. It's going to give me that single bar there. It's going to move it up so it portrays correctly. Accidentally pressed the wrong button. Okay, that's alright. So let's just draw a section in the other direction through the base so I can show you how that reinforcing is being shown. Just go to the view. You can see it's not the way that we wanted, because if you go to the 3D, it's going to step, rotate around this bar, stepping in the wrong direction. So we want to rotate this by 45 degrees or 90 degrees. I'm going to say RO. It's going to rotate 90 degrees. Let's go and check quickly. There we have that bar going up. And I'm just going to mirror this one again. So let's go to this section here. See, these two bars also step. And that is what you want, and your stirrup is going around your bars. Now that we've done that, we can do the starter bars. So the reason I'm doing it the other way around, usually you first do the starter bars and then the column bar, it's just to get your size of your internal stirrup. So we're going to say we have a 500 column minus 60 cover, which is 30 on each side, minus, let's just see the stirrup. It's a 10, so we're going to have 10 and a 10, minus then 20 and a 20. So then we're going to have a 380 by 380 column stirrup size. We're going to just say create similar. I'm going to say about 2 points, shape code 60. Then we're going to just, apologies, just do that again. Parallel to cover. I'm going to draw it in like that. It's going to just say I have a duplicate, but that's okay. We want to anyway change it now. I'm just bring it in so we can see it a bit better. Make that 380 and that 380. Then we can move it so it snaps to that bar there, so you can see it sits within these bars. Now what we can do the vertical stirrup of the vertical starters. We're going to say rebar, Then I'm going to choose a shape code 37. That is the bar that looks like that. I'm going to also use a Y20 like that. And I'm going to say fixed number. I use 3 there. Then it must be a vertical bar. Just expand by host. There you can see that this bar is snapping also to the edges. We're going to click there. Then we're just going to move this inwards like that. That one we're going to move up like this. Okay, so that just portrays correctly. So then we can just rotate this with 180 degrees like that. Then we can just quickly go to the section again. Here you can see the bars. See, every time I rotate it, I accidentally pick the copy. So let me just show you. So RO, just make sure that copy is not on, otherwise you're making a duplicate. So here we are. So now we can just edit the constraints. So we're going to click where we want it to go to from middle. I'm going to make it 10 because the bar is 20, so that it just sits flush the underside. Then we want the top of this bar to come down to this level, but we want it at an offset of 800 for your splice length, like that. Then we say finish. Now we can take this bar and we can mirror it. Just make sure the copy is off. There we go. No, you want the copy on, sorry. Then I do that. Then you can see it's copied over. Now we want this same bar. We're going to do the same procedure as we did for the vertical. Like that. Just a bit more. There. We're going to make it a single. Actually uses the one on the bottom. That's okay. You can just move that one down. Then we can rotate this one. Just say there, place. See the rotation. Copy is off now, which we wanted. So let's just make sure this in the middle. There it is. We're going to rotate it by 90. Okay, then we're going to take this bar and we're going to mirror it around that axis. Let's quickly go to the 3D to see how it displays. And that's how we want to see it. It's looking very good and neat. But now we have two sets of stirrups, but we want the smaller stirrup to also have the constraints edited. So we're going to click there and we want it to go to the top of this starter bar. So I'm going to press 0, enter. There we have it there. Say finish. So let's go to the 3D again. There you can see our smaller stirrup stops where we want it to stop. Okay. Now we can go to Rebar Foundation again. Now we want to do the vertical bars for columns on the higher level. So we're going to just say, click on this. We're going to say rebar. I'm going to say for cover reference, perpendicular. Also want the shape code 37 Y20s. Then I'm going to put it in there. Then we can go to the section. Always important to have your section open while doing your reinforcing. I just pressed the space button. So here you can say edit constraints. Want it to go to the top here, from here to the top there. I'll make that 0. And then we want the bottom of this bar to go to the top of the slab, like that. There we have that bar. I'm going to say finish. Now we can go to the first level and check there's this bar, but we just want to make it look a lot neater and move it in by 10 mils there. Go to the section, there you can see it. Now what we're going to do, we're just going to mirror those bars like that. I do the same example we did earlier, where we make this one a single. We just move it to here. And then what we want to do is rotate this bar, because you're going to see that bar sticking out there. We're going to rotate that bar by 90 degrees. So RO, like that, 90. Then we just mirror again around this axis there. And there you have your rebar for your column and your foundation. So now this was populated in the rebar schedule, which you can see here. And there you'll see this is a 500 by 500. This is the partition name we gave earlier for this column. And here you can see all the different sizes and shapes that's already been scheduled for us, which is exactly what we want. Now I'm going to show you, once you've done all the rebar here, you can go and propagate this exactly to the next column, so that you don't have to do everything again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to say propagate line by host. I'm just going to click on this one. Here you can see it gives us all the base reinforcing. So let's go to the rebar schedule. Now you'll notice that all of these ones, there was only a number 1. Now there are 2, because we have 2 foundations. So then it will go 2 times the 36 will give you the 72, and it also updates the weight automatically. So we can do the same for the column. Click there, and say propagate, click on the column, and say finish. Now we go to the rebar schedule, and all of those ones change to 2. Okay, so now you can just have a look in the 3D. You can see how it has just propagated all this rebar over to the other column. So now we can do it for all the columns and foundations. So you're going to click on the foundation again. You're going to say propagate. We're going to go and select all the foundations like that. And here you'll notice, just going to press enter. Here you'll notice that the bases on the perimeter is smaller than the bases in the middle of the building. So the rebar automatically snaps to the bigger base. So this base still has the partition name of the 500 by 500. Go to the rebar schedule, we'll pick it up. You'll see here there are 15 of these bases, where you have the Y16s, the bigger B length, the 1940, not the 1440. But we don't want that in the same reinforcing bending schedule. So what we want to do is we're going to highlight all these. I'm going to say filter. We're just going to say structural rebar to be ticked. Now we can rename this and say, okay, let's call it another name. Just forgot the base size here. It's a 2 by 2. Let's just do that again. So we can give it the correct name like that. You can just go here and we say it's a 2 meter by 2 meter by 450 base with steel column. Say enter. Okay. So now once we open the rebar schedule again, there you'll see that it's created a new name and then a separate bending schedule. So what you can do is we can filter this bending schedule to the partition type. There are only 2 partition types at this moment. So you can choose that one and say okay, and then it's going to remove the other bigger base, and you can create another rebar schedule here for that specific base, but that's up to you how you want to do that. But I'm going to keep it like that for the moment. Then we go back here and we're going to propagate all the columns. I'm going to click there, I'm going to say propagate. Then I'm just going to highlight again all the columns like that. I'm going to say finish. Then we're going to go to rebar schedule just to show you. Now you can see there we have 20 of all these number of bars or columns actually, that then is multiplied by the number of bars within that column. Then you get your total number of bars. So what you can also do is you can go to the reinforcement numbers. So just to distinguish between that shape code or that, sorry, apologies, bar mark 1 and bar mark 1. So it's not on the same schedule and the people get confused, even though it has different partition names. You can go and change it. Not going to save now. Call that maybe shape or rebar number 20, and you're going to say apply, and it's going to change it to 20. And there you can see it's changed to the number 20, just to distinguish between them. So now if we go to the 3D, you can see all these columns have been reinforced. Now, if you want to distinguish between bar sizes, we can do a filter layer. It's just to keep track for yourself. So we're going to say VV filters, add, edit, and new. And then what we're going to do is going to create a new filter name. We're going to call it Y20. It's the size of the bar. Then we're going to scroll down here to structural rebar. There it is. Then we're going to say, we're going to scroll down here. We're going to say type name equals to, and here they give you all the types of shape codes. We want the Y20, apply. Now we can duplicate this. 1, 2, 3 maybe. This one we want to call Y16. I'm going to change that to Y16. Then this one we want to call R10, because that's also the other bar that we used. Just look for the R10. There we are. Apply. I think we can delete this one as we don't have another bar size. Then we say okay. Then I'm going to press on it and press control. Click on it and press control, and I'm going to say okay. Now we want to display different colors. So you're going to click on pattern override like this. Then maybe we want the Y20s to be red. The Y16s we're going to make green. The R10s we're going to make light blue, cyan. So okay, now what you're going to see is, okay, now you know the Y16s are green, the Y20s are all red, and the R10s are light blue. So let's say for argument's sake the design changes and we want to change those bottom bars to Y20s. You click on it and you're going to say Y20, and it's going to change it, and it's also going to change the color so that you know you've changed it to distinguish between the colors. So in a nutshell, that is how you do column reinforcing and base reinforcing. In the next coming videos, I can do a video to show how to actually give these rebar some dimensions, saying what size it is, and scheduling it onto a sheet so that they can actually order and build off your drawings. So guys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. That will help a lot for my channel. I can do more videos like this, and you guys can leave comments to tell me what exactly you want to see in the next videos. Thanks guys.